Kamen Rider Kabuto Mike! I just got back from Kaiju Brooklyn, which is one of my favorite shows, which I guess doesn't mean much because I say the same thing about Small Press Expo and San Diego Comic-Con. But can't a guy have 3 favorite shows, please? You know, usually if I'm working a convention, when it's over, I am dead. Like, it takes me a day or 2 to recover and really flip my brain back into work mode. I'm exhausted. I'm drag ass the next week. But for some reason, Kaiju Brooklyn just felt energizing. Like, the entire time I was there, I was just so excited to be there. And when I got home, I was like, yeah, I'm ready to go, planning for the next one. There's something about finding your people who are as obsessed about the thing that you're obsessed with that is so validating and makes you feel like you're not alone, that you're not the only one who enjoys watching Karate Bugmen kick people in rubber suits, you know? And also to see your work appreciated by complete strangers. That's always cool. So come with me on my journey to Kaiju Brooklyn 2026. I'm like nervous excited. I'm driving up to Kaiju Brooklyn tomorrow. I'm recording this Thursday evening. Friday is load-in, so I'm driving up from Maryland to Brooklyn. 4-hour drive, not that big a deal. But this week has been really bad. Like, I haven't been able to get that much work done. I'm nervous about the show. Like, this is the first time I'm vending at Kaiju Brooklyn. This is the first time I'm bringing certain pieces of merch. I haven't done prints in a very long time, so I'm nervous about that. I feel like I've put myself in a good space in terms of the variety of stuff I'm bringing and the target audience and that kind of stuff. I try not to pander, but for Kaiju, I'm pandering like hell. But it's like first con jitters. If it's a show I've done before, it's not that big a deal. You know, you go in, you know how loading goes, you know where you're supposed to set, you know, those things are out of the way, so then you can just sit and relax and concentrate on having good interactions with people. This time, new ball game, traveling, loading, that sort of thing, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was enough to kind of like throw me off my game this week. I'm actually not terribly nervous about the setup because this past Saturday, I got to do a pop-up market at an ice cream shop, Sarah's Handmade Ice Cream, which was a lot of fun. I've never done a pop-up at an ice cream shop before, so that was pretty cool. I am lactose intolerant, so it's not something I would normally seek out, but they did have a lot of non-dairy options and some sorbets, which were really nice. And it's always a good idea to show your work to people who might not be expecting something like that. Like, sometimes if you go to enough comic book shows, you see the same people over and over again. So I've been trying to expand where I go this year. I've done a bunch of pop-ups at the climbing gym, which is also really fun. So, you know, trying out new things this year, seeing what I can see. I've been saying yes to a lot of stuff. So, but I think right now I'm rambling, so gonna turn this off, relax for a little bit, try to sleep so that I'm well rested for the drive, and I will see you in the morning. Kaiju Brooklyn -1, the Friday. It's not a bad trip. I live in Maryland, so the drive up to Brooklyn took about 3.5, 4 hours. I left early enough in the morning that I missed a lot of the typical rush hour traffic. It's like 6:40 in the car, ready to go. I have a large bag of snacks that's out of frame. Maybe I'll show you when I get to the next stop. I did think about setting up the camera on the dashboard while I'm driving, but I hear that that's dangerous, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna load up some podcasts and get on the road. Kaiju Brooklyn, here I come! So apparently I can either have a mist filter or I can have an ND filter. Taking a break in Delaware because I have old man bladder. Still, I think about 2 hours to go. So it's like 8:30-ish here. Oh, let me show you my giant fucking feed bag. Granola bars, some more granola, and then trail mix. So I will be regular this entire trip. My CPAP, and then the rest of my stuff you can see in the back over there. So all my shit packed in my car. I think I'm gonna get back on the road. A body in motion stays in motion. So let's stay in motion. Okay. Made it to Brooklyn, ran into some traffic over the Brooklyn Bridge. I also just lost an ND filter. So I was trying to put it on the lens because it's bright as fuck out. So if this is a little dark, I apologize. I'm gonna start loading in and I'll get some fancy B-roll after I bring in all my shit and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, what time is it? It's 11:30, so not too bad. And let's keep this ball rolling. Industry City is pretty easy to get into. I know a lot of people are afraid of New York traffic, and I am as well. We have 495 here in Maryland, which is utter shit, but it's nothing compared to traffic in New York. But driving into Brooklyn wasn't as spooky as maybe it has a reputation for. There's a big ass parking lot right next to Industry City. It wasn't very full, so I could park there, unload all of my stuff, and get set up. Now, last year, I left my car there overnight, but I didn't read the signs. And apparently, you're not allowed to leave your car there overnight. So I was a little concerned about what to do with my car. But fortunately, the hotel we were staying at has one of those lift garages, so you can park your car, and if they need to move it, they'll stick it in this lift and you go woo, and then they stick another car underneath it. So that was cool. But yeah, load in was great. I wish I was able to load in the day before on most cons because it was nice and relaxed. I didn't have to rush to figure out my setup and all that kind of stuff. This is a new setup for me on my table that I figured out the weekend before at the ice cream shop pop-up. So I wasn't terribly concerned about it, but if I only had a few hours to get things done, it would have been a lot more stressful. So loading in the day before, I love it. I wish Small Press Expo did it, but they don't. So you just got to get there nice and early so you have a long soak time to take your time. Friday evening, there's a VIP party that none of the people in my group wanted to go to because they went last year and the music was way too loud. So if you wanted to hang out and talk to each other, you really couldn't. And they weren't even playing tokusatsu themes. So instead, we went to a private room karaoke place that's in the Japan Village because they had Japanese language songs in their catalog. So the first half of the evening, we were singing Kamen Rider and Ultraman themes. And you could tell who knew the Japanese and who didn't because a lot of the times we would be like, da 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 Kuga, something Kuga.
I'm looking for you trying to reach your roses carried away by the time this part's in Japanese and I'm gonna you've got away from the stage, leaving no words to just fake tears left. You got this. Yeah, honest, you know your grappa dash, magneton, snorlax, Vanguard, Tanglar, Golden, Spiro, Weezing, Xenon, Gyarados, Slowbro, gotta catch them all, shut catch them all, yeah, gotta catch them all, shut catch them all, yeah, gotta catch them all, Pokemon, oh,
It was really fun. Everybody had a great time screaming their heads off in the karaoke room. And then we went back to the hotel where Taya decided to introduce me to a Canadian delicacy known as the Laura Secord egg. I'm gonna just roll the footage.
Okay, so this is 75 grams of cream egg, specifically buttercream, so it's a bit thicker than the regular Cadbury cream egg. They gave me nightmares.
Believable.
It is 10 p.m.
Boy, howdy.
Friday night before Kaiju Brooklyn.
After 2 hours of karaoke.
The best karaoke. So the dark chocolate makes it pretty good. This is what it looks like on the inside. I am never sleeping again.
Is this going in your vlog?
Currently at 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Oh, I almost made it. Don't import that.
I've got 2 more eggs.
No. Somehow, I managed to go to sleep that night despite the possible sugar rush. I don't know. I guess I'm always tired, so that helps. I'll show the unedited footage at the end of this, so if you want to just fast forward to see me suffer, it's fine by me. Kaiju Brooklyn Day 1, Saturday. I really didn't know what to expect. I'll have some charts later that show the breakdown of what sold and all that kind of stuff. But I really wasn't sure what to expect. I've done anime cons before. I've done comic cons before. So tabling isn't a mystery to me, but I've never done such a genre-specific convention before. So I was a little nervous about what I was bringing. I felt like I put myself in a good spot in terms of variety of stuff. A bunch of originals, but also a bunch of fan art from properties that I was hoping people would be into. I got to meet Godzilla. He stopped by the table. It was amazing. The suit is absolutely fantastic. The Project Nautilus suit, holy shit. Like, this thing is ready to be filmed stomping on some shit. It's so good. Every time I meet a Godzilla, I lose my mind because it's Godzilla. How can you maintain composure when the big guy is staring at you? So cool. So freaking cool. Because I was at the table most of the time, I didn't really have an opportunity to check out some of the panels or workshops, but it looks like they have a lot of fun stuff, including a Godzilla roar contest. So that's pretty cool. After the first day, we went off to a FUA meetup that was organized by Taya. I'm kind of new to the whole FUA phenomenon, but basically, you get together with a bunch of people that have little plushies and you line them up, take pictures, take video, do a little fun stuff with them, and just meet other nerds. And it was great. It was very cool. The only problem was I looked at the weather and the weather said it was going to be nice and warm all day. And it lied to me and it was really fucking cold. So I had to pop into a shop and pick up a sweater on sale. And here, let me show you this thing. Oh, it's so hot in the office. Haha. It's the Brooklyn Bridge, I think. It was a shop Brooklyn made, all local artists and stuff. So I was like, well, it'd be cool to support the local artist population. I've also decided that for hoodies and sweatshirts and long sleeve shirts, I'm only gonna buy like XL and 2X because if I don't look like a toddler wearing a sweatshirt or a hoodie, then what's the point? So if you make hoodies and sweaters that are cool, be sure to stock a whole bunch of 2X because if I see them and I like them, I'm buying them because I decided that I need to look like a third grader when I'm wearing a long sleeve something. Kaiju Brooklyn Day 2, Sunday.
Day 2.
Day 2. This day for me was all about signing trading cards. Soccer Gods had a debut at Kaiju Brooklyn. Let me see if I can explain this. The Soccer Gods is a new property created by Starlight Runner Entertainment in partnership with Q-Pop and the Modesto Educational Foundation. It's a mythology-driven universe where legendary figures from cultures around the world are organized into teams and compete in a global tournament. Each character part of a broader narrative system designed to expand across media, gameplay, and live experiences. So we're starting with cards, and the sky's the limit for whatever else they can do with this property. Now, when I got the initial brief, it was to design one character for this trading card series. And I was really pleased, happy to do it, excited to do it. My daughter plays soccer, so I have a little bit of personal connection to it, but I'm always up for drawing more. So I ended up doing 3 characters in total, which meant that I had 3 boxes of cards to sign. There are 500 individually numbered cards in each of these boxes. But if you look at the number, you'll see it's something something out of 1,000, which means there are 3 more boxes with 500 cards each that I still have yet to sign. At one point, my name no longer had any meaning, and I made the mistake of writing out the date with my signature because whenever I sign something, I like to give a little context of the year at the very least, and also where I'm signing it, or perhaps for who I'm signing something. So if you have me sign something at Small Press Expo, I'll have my name, I'll have the date, and I'll have SPX there because I want you to have an idea of why and where you got me to sign this thing. The weird thing is it's 2026, but my hand wanted to keep writing 3 instead of 6. So a handful of cards have a weird looking 3 that got turned into a 6. You know how if like you draw a bad letter that you meant to draw something else, but you don't have any whiteout, so you just go over with thicker line. There are a handful of cards that have that in there. So I don't know if they're going to be worth extra as like variants, but if you get one of those, you'll know why. I have a handful that I get to sell on my own. I'm going to hang on to them for a little bit and just see how things go because Soccer Gods is going to have a proper launch event later this month. So there's going to be a bigger announcement, a brunch thing, and there's going to be more stuff with it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do with this thing, with this idea. Soccer is huge, maybe not in the United States. Even when the World Cup comes around, I feel like it's not as big as it might be. But if you're in the DMV, women's soccer is huge. Like the Washington Spirit has a lot of fans. Worldwide, soccer is gigantic. So there is a lot of potential for this thing. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Starlight Runner and the whole team can do with it. So I'm also glad to be part of it in some small way. I am burning up in this damn sweatshirt. Hold on. Yeah. Despite my hand falling off from all the signing, Sunday went pretty well. Sales were decent. I didn't make as much as Saturday, but that's kind of to be expected. I made probably around 60% of the previous day sales. So it was pretty close. It was pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised with how I did. Breakdown, nice and easy. Loading up the car was nice and easy. I have a little hand cart that I can put everything onto. So once I get everything in my totes, it's just one trip out to the car, load it up, get on the road, go home. Once again, able to miss the rush hour hours because it was Sunday. Driving back to Maryland from Brooklyn, 4-ish hours in the evening. It's not too bad. Kaiju Brooklyn, by the numbers. I am not a math Asian, obviously, but I was curious. First time vending at this show, first time bringing prints and stickers to a show. I wanted to see what those numbers look like. Original art versus fan art, stickers versus prints, how much stickers are holding up my business, that sort of thing. So I kept track of all my sales, put it into a handy dandy Excel spreadsheet, and generated some charts. Ha 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 ha. Oh my God, during camera angle. I've got charts in different area. That doesn't work. Okay, so this first chart we're taking a look at is the percentage sold by genre. So fan art versus original art. And when I first came to Kaiju Brooklyn, I assumed that most of my sales would be from fan art because it's a very specific convention, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was about half and half. So that makes me feel good. That's a little bit of validation there that, you know, people like me for me and not just the fan art. First chart, very surprised, very pleased, very gratified. So this chart tracks what merch sold percentage wise. So you can see by that big orange slice there, 58%. My business is held up by sticker sales. I'm so glad I started doing stickers. They're easy to produce. Well, not easy, but it's pretty straightforward to produce stickers. They're easy to transport. They don't take up a lot of space. They're lightweight. You can swap certain stickers out for different shows. You know, you can experiment with art, see if people like weird shit, and if they sell or if they don't, you know, you could do a lot with stickers. Stickers are very flexible. So yeah, stickers. If I didn't make stickers this year, it would have been a very sad convention. The green slice there measures how many prints I sold percentage-wise. So I was very pleased that my two new items, the stickers and the prints, sold pretty well. So that was good. I only really have one plushie, Puppy Cow. Do I have a Puppy Cow? There's a Puppy Cow. I don't know if this is in the shot, but I'll show you Puppy Cow. I only really have Puppy Cow, and that did pretty well. The pins did pretty well. I only sold like one book, so well, whatever. But yeah, I was very pleased that the stickers pulled more than their own weight in terms of number of stickers sold. Which brings us to the final chart that I spit out, the percentage of revenue generated per product. So even though the sticker sales were 58% of the sales that I made at Kaiju Brooklyn, money-wise, the prints made up almost half of my revenue this past weekend because my prints are the highest priced item on my table. So I only have to sell a few of them to quickly overtake the amount of money I'm making with the stickers, because the stickers are the lowest price item on the table. So it balances out. So yeah, the two new products I brought with me, if you take either one of those out, I would have had a miserable weekend at Kaiju Brooklyn. I'm not certain how useful these numbers are in terms of planning for future shows, because every con has a different target audience. Cities have different personalities. The general economy affects people's buying habits. And, you know, as we go on later in this year, where things get real bad because gas prices aren't ever going to come down for a good long fucking time, that will definitely affect disposable income. So like if I made decisions for Small Press Expo based on these numbers, I would get completely different results because, you know, Brooklyn versus Rockville, different type of show, like Kaiju tokusatsu focused show versus like an indie Comic-Con, two different audiences. Like there's a whole bunch of different variables that these numbers don't take into account. So I'm kind of looking at these as helpful metrics for me to give me validation in some of my assumptions about what works and what doesn't. But I don't necessarily want these numbers to be the only influence on me as I adjust things for, you know, future pop-up shows or for SPX later this year. I think if Kaiju Brooklyn was a monthly thing, then you could build some reoccurring data, and then you could chart some trends, and then you can figure out how to maybe tailor your offerings to a show. But since we're talking about things that happen once a year, I think these are useful metrics, but I don't know if they're as useful as maybe I would like them to be. Like if you can measure it, you can adjust to it. And I just don't think something that comes around once a year, we're gonna get enough data for that to matter. Like maybe if I started tracking the pop-up shows at the climbing gym, because those happen once a month, maybe that would be a useful thing to measure. But I don't know. This is why I'm not a numbers Asian. Overall, I think Kaiju Brooklyn was a success. Fortunately, money-wise, sure, that's always good. But also meeting new people, making new friends who are also into this very specific genre, and just having a great time hanging out with like-minded people. Sometimes these shows like Kamen Rider or Ultraman are thought of as half-an-hour toy commercials. And toy sales is definitely an aspect that's important to maintaining the genre. But tokusatsu is more than just about the commercialization. A lot of the shows speak to found family, people coming together to unite for a common cause, to fight off an invasion or to defend each other, be there for each other. And I think a lot of the fans that I met this past weekend really take that message to heart. They're here for the community. They're here to support each other. They're here for the laughter. And it's great to find that kind of thing in this journey we're all on. And it's nice to feel that your work is appreciated by people like that and that it speaks to them in that way. So yeah, I felt really energized after Kaiju Brooklyn. Obviously, I highly recommend going to Kaiju Brooklyn, even if you aren't able to get a vendor table. Going there, hanging out for the day, meeting fellow nerds, checking out the Kaiju bar, checking out some of the workshops. It's all good. It's all awesome. If you like tokusatsu, if you're into Kamen Rider, if you're into Godzilla, this is your place. This is your place. Now, the full version of me experiencing the egg. One final thing, I'm building a mailing list. So if you're interested in any of my stickers or prints or want to know upcoming appearances at conventions or book signings, that sort of stuff, I'll have a QR code that you can scan or a link in the show notes that you can use to get to the mailing list and sign up for that. I don't really send out too many blasts, just when things are happening. So like maybe the week before a convention or a big announcement or when the shop launches or reopens and stuff like that. So I promise not to flood your inbox with too much stuff. Okay, now on to the suffering.
Egg.
All right, this is a...
Okay, can you tell us again how big the egg is?
Okay, so this is 75 grams of cream egg, specifically buttercream, so it's a bit thicker than the regular Cadbury cream egg. However, this is the small size. It comes in 10 grams, 75 grams, 10 grams is the micro. There is I believe a 150 gram, and I believe a 300 gram. These are the best sellers at the local chocolate store in Canada. They gave me nightmares.
Believable.
It is 10 p.m.
Boy, howdy.
Friday
is it.
night before Kaiju Brooklyn.
After 2 hours of karaoke.
The best karaoke. All right. Okay, ready?
Oh, that's a big bite.
Big old.
So the dark chocolate makes it pretty good. This is what it looks like on the inside.
Dang, that is exactly what it said it would be.
I don't know what that is.
That's just food coloring. Some
Just
old
food
people
coloring?
think it's a genuine egg yolk, and I'm like, that's not.
What?
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's the Easter egg. It's an egg.
It looks like marzipan, or what's the other thing?
It's buttercream.
Yep.
They're both buttercream?
Oh my god. That sure is buttercream.
Old people sometimes get the extra large one, put it in the freezer, and slice it like a holiday ham to make it last the whole year.
I started this journey. A body in motion stays in motion.
Would you like a cup of water?
Maybe.
It gets worse the further in you get.
You're now 2 bites in, I think?
Don't
my
worry,
God.
it gets worse as it goes on.
Yes.
Mm.
Your body grows numb.
Canada is made of sterner stuff.
You will acclimate to the egg.
I want
That's
you to
such
know,
a terrible sentence.
COVID lockdown was 2 weeks before Easter. We had just finished getting all of our Easter stock, and that nobody wanted it because by the time we reopened multiple months later, we had, I want to say, well over 1,000 of the largest egg, more of the others, and people kept coming in the store and being like, "Why is there Easter? It's the middle of summer," and I'm like. I never want to celebrate Easter ever again. Can you feel my pain?
I feel
Can
something.
you feel my rage?
Can you taste it?
This is a 75 gram egg. It gets bigger.
Why would you do this to yourself? As a nation,
Hi,
why?
welcome to Lower Seacourt. How can I help you today?
This is a bad challenge. I'm definitely past whatever time limit it was supposed to be.
I love how you did, in fact, say, would you like a cup of water, and then did not give him that.
I will get the cup of water now.
I just wanted to know if you wanted it.
I just needed to know that you
Right.
wanted it.
I had a
Do we
curiosity.
have? Oh wait, there's.
Yeah, we got him.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say. How are you doing, Jamie?
I am never sleeping again.
Is this going in your vlog?
Yeah, as soon as she sends me that footage.
I'm sending you this in the group chat. Don't you worry
Good.
about it.
Oh,
Do you see why I made it the 3-minute challenge to eat the egg?
I'm way past 3 minutes, but
What's
yes.
the timer at, Glenda?
Currently at 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Oh, I almost made it.
Would you like to try again?
No. So if you've seen Hot Ones, my friends got
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bomb sauce.
This is worse in a different way.
It is worse in a different way. It almost like melted onto my thumb.
Yes,
Why? I mean,
because
it is,
your thumb is warm.
it is hot in here. Oh, fuck. I was gonna try to do it without the sippy. Oh.
It gets worse as you go.
You're eating it and my stomach hurts.
Fuck, man. So I never remember what a Cadbury cream egg tastes like.
Yeah.
I will never forget what this has done.
You're welcome. Happy Easter.
Is this your customer
It
service
comes with
host?
joyous
No.
What is this?
This is me being sarcastic and funny. Because I couldn't be like this in front of customers.
Understandable.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That was really impressive, and I'm really sad.
That's awful.
Respect.
That's awful. Don't do it,
Yay,
fam.
you survived.
Don't import that.
I've got 2 more eggs.
No.
Cast off. Pew!